So in this scenario, we will learn how to create an appointment and send out a confirmation of the appointment to the requester, including the address and so on. So I have a case ready for an interview. So what I do is I go to the toolbar and select Book Resource. Then a new window will appear. And from here, I will start with selecting the area at which office or at which branch the interview will be held, depending on where the requester lives. Also, I can elaborate with the time slots for in between which dates am I looking for an available time slot. Also, I can choose the skills among the volunteers or caseworkers that I'm looking for. And I do a search. So I just check for available time slot in from the 4th to the 11th of February in Gothenburg. And there is one volunteer working here, and I see that on Thursday, the 4th of February, there is a time slot in between 4 to 6 p.m. So I just pick the first slot there, and I press book. So the default value is 1 hour, and now you see also that it's indicated here that this pre-case 3A2 is booked. So I am done with this, so I close the booking section. What I can do now, in the view of the case, I go to interviews. I do a refresh. I go back to interviews. And here we have the interview. So I see the date of the interview, starting time. And the next step we will do is to mark, and then I will send out the confirmation. We know since before that this person preferred to have SMS notification. So then I just pick here, and I can choose in between if it's the requester or the contact person who should receive the confirmation. So I pick the requester, and I got a notification, and I press OK. So what we can do now to double check the notification is to go back to the general overview of the case, and we will see in the timeline when it comes to SMS, there is a delay since all the text messages are sent out every 10th minute. So depending on where we are in the cycle, it can take some time before we see the confirmation here. I just do a refresh, and we see if it's appear in the timeline. Now it was a previous message. So meanwhile, we're waiting for the confirmation. We go back to the interview just to see what else we can do. So I just open up the interview by clicking, and we will see the interview record. So we have the name of the volunteer who will conduct the interview. It's booked. We see the starting, ending, and the time frame. So it's an interview for 1 hour, and we can also add the location and so on, and it should be part of the configuration. So the address and everything should be there automatically and also sent in the notification. We can also see here a summary of what has been registered. So it's tracing, the name of the requester, contact details, it's not unaccompanied minor. And there are several ways for us to add some information for the person doing the interview. We can write instructions here. And add some summary of the case or what we think is necessary for the volunteer or caseworker conducting the interview. We can also use the timeline. So we can enter a note, we can write something, and we can attach a previous defined document with instructions for volunteers on this specific context, and so on. So I just write something here, be aware of, and so. And then I have a note in the timeline. So depending on the working procedures, one instructions for the volunteers or the caseworker conducting the interview is to always check the timeline related to the interview for further instructions. So now I just received a notification on the phone, so I will go back to the pre-case. So I just double click on the case number. And we will see that there has been already 2 notifications in the timeline. The first one is, it's in Swedish, but it's a confirmation saying that there is an appointment. You see the date, where it is. So this is just a generic template which has some generic information and some specific information depending on the time and place and so on. Since this booking was for tonight, also a reminder was sent out at the same time. And that's another function of the system, that you also define when a reminder should be sent out. So this happened in one go. So the requester received the confirmation of the appointment, and at the same time, the requester also received a reminder of the interview.